Will the Week 18 season finale be Arthur Smith's last hurrah in Atlanta?
You are Locked On Falcons, your daily Atlanta Falcons podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, everyone, to another illustrious episode of the Locked On Falcons podcast, your daily Atlanta Falcons podcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, your team every day. And today's episode is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. We're going to help you find the qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That's linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So, guys, if you do not know me, I'm your very humble host, Aaron Freeman. Been covering the Falcons for far too long, formerly at FalcFans.com, RIP, formerly on Twitter at FalcFans, RIP. You know, we'll see what other thing I can kill on my social medias in 2024. But of course, we thank each and every one of you that tuned in to this illustrious episode on a daily basis in 2023. And we hope you stick around in 2024. And we hope you are joined by new everydayers out there this calendar year. And if you want to become an everydayer in 2024, is that your New Year's resolution? Make sure you subscribe or follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. So today's episode, we are joined once again by Jarvis Davis, our illustrious guest of Locked On Sports Atlanta. Check him out each and every day. Check him out on the Locked On NFL Kickoff Live each and every Friday. Across the entire podcast network. You know, these last couple of weeks, we haven't been able to talk too much with Jarvis due to the holidays and whatnot, but we will be getting into some keys to victory for the Falcons in this Week 18 matchup. We'll talk, look ahead to the offseason, although I know there's still regular season games to be played, but, you know, I have told you guys for weeks now that, you know, I'm no longer invested in the Falcons regular season, but you know, part of that is due to the scrutiny that is Arthur Smith going into this Saints game and the potential that this is his last game as the head coach in Atlanta. So, Jarvis, I put it to you. Do you think this is Arthur Smith's last game as the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons?
I think this question is kind of, let me break it up with this question, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do I think it should be his last one? Absolutely. Do I think this ends up being his last one? Probably not. I mean, because like we heard the reports, you know, Jeff Schultz, you know what I'm saying? He was retired and walking off into the sunset. One of the last reports that he came with was saying that, hey, Arthur Blank isn't really interested in going through a whole new coaching search and GM search and all this good stuff. So I'm just like, well, you don't have to go into a coaching and GM search. Let the GM hire the damn coach, you know, like normal people do. Like that's kind of where I'm at with it. So I think that when you think about Arthur Smith as a whole, because I think a lot of people are putting a little bit too much stock in this last game, because when you think about, and in the 3 games, you know, the 2 games prior to this one as well, and whether or not he's quote unquote coaching for his job, my whole thing is I've always been like this, and I've been like this since, you know, this second half snide, if you want to refer to it as. It really seems like to me there's just been too many questions about this offense. Like, has this offense ever averaged over 20 points a game since Arthur Smith came in? No. Have we always had questions about the offense and what he's doing and the play calling and scheming? More than likely. We might not know all the details, but people know what they're looking at. I've got a good feel of what I'm looking at on Sundays. There in the Chicago game, it came to fruition again. You do the little fancy little trick play, get the ball down the field, make a nice completion, cool. Bijan Robinson, boom, break off a nice run. Probably should have been -1, -2. You turn that bad boy into what, a +18, 20-yard game, right? Then you take a shot down the field to Kyle Pitts. It was open. Taylor Heineke missed the throw. Kyle Pitts probably should have taken a dive for it, extend himself out. He's 6'6", 240, 245. Maybe he catches it. He didn't do that. So for me, I look at all these questions, and notice I haven't gotten to the defense yet. And the head coach of this team is the offensive coordinator. The reason why he was hired was because the things that he accomplished as an offensive coordinator with the Tennessee Titans. So if we're sitting here questioning all these things on a consistent basis, is it really about the last game? Is it really about the last 3 games? Because Falcons are probably going to go 7-10, more than likely. There's a good chance that they're going to go 7-10 again. Let's go on to our rival, the New Orleans Saints. Sean Payton went 3 straight years, 7-9. And nobody blinked an eye. You know why? Because the precedent he has set as him being a good head coach. Nobody was out here questioning the offense. No, everybody was saying, okay, Sean Payton going to figure it out. He's going to get this offense together. He's going to get this thing right. And plus, he had already won a Super Bowl. So if Arthur Smith goes 7-10 again, why are we loyal? Where's the loyalty? I mean, why is there so much loyalty to Arthur Smith? What has he done to earn this type of loyalty to keep his job?
It's a fair question. I don't have an answer for you, Jarvis.
And you know what? And like to really just bring it in, I really think it's an organizational issue at this point. Because for me, I feel like we've seen this movie before. Because everybody's trying to figure out, like, okay, well, who put that stamp on Desmond Ridder? Who thought he was QB1? Was it a general manager? Or was it Arthur Smith? Well, they kind of co-parenting the organization, and they separated, and they dropping this decision off here, and then behind the scenes they making this decision, or in the media and the press, everybody making a cohesive decision. Everybody is making all the decisions together. Is Rich McKay part of all the decisions? I don't know. Who knows? We don't know. It's so much gray area when it comes to who's making the decisions. So I really feel like when things start to go awry, that's when you have all these questions about everybody. So because for me, I don't want to give credit to Arthur Smith for getting Nate Landman. I'll assume that's the scouting department. I assume that's the general manager and his people. They went in and scouted him out and said, you know what? He might not be the fastest guy in the world, but he can play downhill and come make tackles. And he can potentially be a guy that can play special teams for it. Oh, Troy Anderson gets hurt. A guy who I have a lot of questions about. Oh, man, we ain't even missed a dude. So I want to give credit to Terry Fontenot and not say, oh, well, this was a decision that both of us made. No, really? Like, can the head coach get credit for being a head coach and the GM get credit for making all the personnel decisions? I just think that from the top down, it's just been, and we've seen this time and time again. That's why I feel like they've never hired a coach with any experience, because no experienced head coach who has any type of cachet or any type of clout or have won anything in the NFL is going to agree to come into that. Because I got to bang heads with this guy, even though I don't even know him, I ain't never worked with him before, and come down and make decisions. You don't think those guys don't disagree about something? I'm sure they have. Because if they say that they haven't, they're lying. Because this is football, man. Everybody thinks they knows it, especially on this doggone level. So I'm at the point now where this should be Arthur Smith's last game. It damn sure should. And I think that, if Arthur Blank is tired of firing whole regimes and have to go out and hire a search party and hire Rich McKay on in the back house and, say, hey, we just got this from a search firm and leaning on him, let doggone Terry Fontenot hire the head coach.
Okay. Well, if this is Arthur Smith's last game, he was going to try to go out with a bang. And so we'll talk about what are sort of the keys to victory for the Falcons if Arthur Smith is going to stave off, um, you know, the the Turk, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Avoid Black Monday.
Yeah. Whatever it's called for coaches.
You're not gonna
it
die.
is.
He's just gonna lose his job.
Yeah, but we'll get into that as we continue today's Locked On Falcons. Guys, it's the start of the new year, and every small business owner is asking themselves the same question. What's the one move I can make that'll take my business to the next level in 2024? LinkedIn Jobs knows that your success depends on you having the right team to surround yourself with, and that's why LinkedIn Jobs has created the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. It's not just any job board. They have a vast network of more than 1 billion. That's a billion with a B professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. Hiring is easy when you have that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus their leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs is going to help you find a qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedonnfl. That's linkedin.com/lockedonnfl to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So as we continue today's Locked On Falcons, want to plug the Locked On Sports Today 24/7 streaming channel, the first of its kind, to get all the expertise from the various local insiders on the Locked On network across the leagues, across the sports, all on one single 24/7 streaming platform. And if you're looking for more of that local flavor 24/7, of course, Locked On Sports Atlanta has a streaming channel as well. So, Jarvis, we're talking about Arthur Smith's potential last job here. Well, if he wants to stave off getting that firing on Black Monday, or so to speak, what is he and the Atlanta Falcons got to do on Sunday to beat this New Orleans Saints team?
Figure out a way to get the ball to Drake London and Bijan Robinson. And stop being cute with it, man. Like, all of this weird motion is not doing anything to make the defense think twice about what they're doing. Just turn around and hand the ball off, because you got your offensive line, back to, you had your offensive line back in space last weekend against the Chicago Bears. And I really like what I saw from Chris Lindstrom. I really feel like he was playing at a Pro Bowl level, being that guy that can get out there in space and get a block for you, and sprung Tyler Algier when he took off down the sidelines. And I just really feel like, don't get cute, don't turn the ball over. And I know that's gonna lot, but man, this is what every offense in the NFL does every week. Don't turn the ball over. Don't hold on to the ball too long. If it's not there, get rid of it. Hold on to the football. Don't throw into double and triple coverage late. So it's just so many things that we have to say every week, because a lot of times we're seeing the exact opposite of that. So I think right now is just a matter of kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. And I'm not calling Arthur Smith stupid.
I think that's fair. That's fair. It's been your through line all season long, so might as well keep it going last time, right? Do you expect the Falcons to be able to run the football as effectively as it did against the Saints the last time?
I don't know, man. That's because normally, the Saints are pretty stout against the run, especially given the guys that they had up front. Obviously one of them is playing for the Falcons right now, and David Onyemata, who's been having a pretty doggone good season this year. But I really feel like this is one of those games where you're going out on the road, and this is going to be a tough one. I feel like if the Falcons are able to have some success in the run game, I think that's going to say a lot about how this team feels about Arthur Smith, being that this could potentially be his last game as a head coach. Because these guys the Saints game is different. And I understand. And then because some of those guys, like David Onyemata was talking about how, he's a guy that like to talk a little trash, right? Mix it up a little bit. And they were saying how he's still friends with some of those guys, but he's saying how once he walks on that field, he said, I'm a part of them new clan now. He didn't say clan, for all my people sensitive folks out there. But he just pointed out that, once you get on that field, it's different. And I think that being on the road and potentially what's on the line for which is the NFC title, NFC South title, there is something to this game that says to me that if you are able to run the ball, who's ever able to have more success running the football, more likely they're gonna come out with the dub.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. That bodes well for the Falcons, I guess, because Alvin Kamara is probably not going to play. But I say that, and then Jamal Williams goes for 180 yards or whatever, and it's like, all right, that's whatever.
I don't know how you feeling about this game.
Yeah, man, it is what it is. I just wait for
got a catch last. We had a couple catches last week, man.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm waiting for the offseason. I'm sorry. So it's let's get into the offseason conversation, because let's just talk about what this team needs to improve upon, regardless of who the head coach is. Heading into the offseason, we'll get into that to wrap up today's Locked On Falcons. So today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And around New Year's, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of expanding on what we're already doing right. And therapy can help you find your strengths so that you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that really stick. You guys have heard me talk about therapy and how beneficial it has been to me. It has taught me things like I can only control what I can control. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, you got to give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It's much more affordable than traditional offline therapy. That was a big reason that attracted me to it last year. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, suited to your schedule. All you got to do is fill out a brief questionnaire and you'll get matched with a licensed therapist quickly. And then you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress you've already made with BetterHelp by visiting BetterHelp.com/lockedon today, and you'll get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/lockedon. So Jarvis, as clearly, we're wrapping up the week. I'll admit I feel like I'm mailing this one in, but I'm just like, just get to the end of this.
Let's get through it, man.
We'll just get through it. And we'll see. We'll see if the Falcons surprise me. And I had a listener ask me a couple weeks ago, like, if the Falcons somehow win the division and make the playoffs, which I know you ain't about that life. But I'll get reinvested and yeah, sure. If I got to prepare for a Falcons Cowboys game next week, by all means, I'll be ready to go. Come whatever day next week I have to do that. But I'll just letting people know, I don't expect that to happen. Depending on what
Mercedes-Benz too, man.
What you're looking at, it's a 8 to 17% chance that the Falcons, make the playoffs. So it's all right,
it's a little low.
I'm not gonna build my life around an 8 to 17% chance. So, Jarvis, all that to say is, let's talk about what's next for this Falcon team. And
right.
Obviously, potentially, coach changes a lot, but regardless of sort of whose system, whose scheme, who's running the show, for you, when you look at this team and some of the shortcomings that they've had this season, what are, let's say, the top 3 priorities for you that the Falcons need to address, need to solve this offseason to get better in 2024?
First of all, man, they have to find a quarterback. And to be honest with you, and depending on whether or not they make a change on how they achieve that. And I think that, if you bring in a new regime, I'm fine with them going young. I'm okay with that, but if Arthur Smith sticks around, I don't know. They better not get nobody. They better not draft no quarterback, because I don't trust it. I don't trust what they got going on from a valuation standpoint when it comes to quarterbacks at this moment. But for me, they have to find a guy that fits this offense, meaning a guy that can make plays, a guy that can handle the football and turn around and, and hand it off to those two guys that you got back there, the two young guys that you got back there that can make plays for you. And also figure out how to get the ball, down the field, start making so you can get some big plays. So you have to go 12 and 13 and 14 play drives just to get into the end zone, man, because that stuff can be a little daunting. So I think that, somebody who can distribute the football and take care of the football and not necessarily be safe with it, because at the end of the day, you gotta have somebody that has talent, and that at the end of the day, that's what Desmond Ridder didn't have. He didn't have enough talent. I just don't feel like his ceiling was that high coming out of Cincinnati. I wasn't that high on him as a quarterback prospect. Back in 2022 when he was drafted. But, obviously the Falcons thought differently. And I think we've kind of seen that kind of play out, right now, because we're talking about a quarterback being a need, a number one priority. So, but the next thing for me has to be, I think you already know where I'm going with this. The next priority for me has to be edge rusher. Like somebody with a certain level of talent, preferably in the first round, that can come in day one and be a contributor. Because you lost a couple games this year because you couldn't put the quarterback on the ground. You allowed 2 big third down conversions against the Chicago Bears because you couldn't put the quarterback on the ground. And the culprit was Bud Dupree in a couple of those instances that I'm talking about. So in 2 of those games, you're talking about you winning that Minnesota game, you winning that Arizona game if you literally put the quarterback on the ground. So I think that the second priority should definitely be an edge rusher, a guy that can come off of here and from day one, as soon as he lines up on third and long in that first game as a rookie, man, that dude got a chance to get there. Or I know he's going to be at least smelling the quarterback. The quarterback going to have his scent on that first third and long. And lastly, man, I think in order for this offense to get to the next level, which is the bar isn't that high at all, they have to have somebody that can really stretch the defense. Now, you got a guy like Drake London who can make the tough catches. He can make some big plays for you, boy. I'm talking about somebody that lines up outside. He puts stick in his hand out there. Hey, I'm on the line right here, or hey, I'm off the line right here. And the cornerbacks are thinking like, oh, I don't know if I want to come up and press on this one. I know Coach told me, go ahead. Yeah, you got this you locked up, but I ain't coming down here. I ain't pressing. You can tell that much. Unless I'm playing a little bail technique. Press bail, and I got help over the top. That's the only way I'm doing. I'm coming down, see what's going on. So I think, man, a wide receiver is definitely a need. I don't necessarily think that it should be one that you prioritize in the first round, because all this best player available crap, I feel like it's gotten you into this situation, because we've been talking about edge rusher for how long? Long time. And now we've gone down this quarterback rabbit hole of, oh, yeah, let's go get Ryan Tannehill. Oh, let's go get Russell Wilson. All that. Yeah, man. Like, no, because that's going to be a continuous trend. And all those guys are going to do is get this coach fired if he sticks around. So I think they should, if you're going to go the veteran route, which more than likely you're probably going to do if Arthur Smith sticks around, I really feel like they should take a look at Justin Fields and see what's going on. Make the phone call. If it's a second rounder, cool. If it's a third, cool. Yeah, make it happen, because you don't have time to sit up here and sell me on, hey, we're going to draft a young guy in the draft and we're going to develop him. No, you ain't got that much time. Sorry. You just went 7-10, 7-10, 7-10 in 3 years, bro. So you're a below average team right now. So
okay,
you need to figure it out.
So, all right, guys, that's it. We'll be back on Sunday, postcast. Jarvis, myself, Tanitra.
You sound so excited, Aaron.
What makes it
Let's
worse,
talk about
Jarvis?
this, man. Like, what's wrong, man? Talk to your boy, man.
Because
I'm here
it's
for
the
you.
Saints. Like we're
Let it
gonna
out,
lose to the
man.
Saints, and
It's okay.
like
Don't hold it in.
they're gonna just ruin all my dreams, and I'm not looking forward to it. So it's just like, all right, so we're gonna lose to the Saints in New Orleans. They're gonna fire the coach. They're gonna blow up whatever. You know, it's just like, what's to look forward to, Jarvis? That's all I'm asking. Like, what am I supposed to look forward to? You know, like
I mean, so let okay. Let me ask you this. You know, gonna let my boy lay on the couch on Locked On Falcons podcast. You know, it's all good, man. BetterHelp. You know, hey, they help with that as well.
Mhm.
So if Arthur Smith gets fired, you have hope?
Not really. Like, who we gonna, Jim Harbaugh? Who are they going to hire? Like, you know, like who am I going to get excited about the Falcons hire? Like Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's they got the same exact resume as Arthur Smith.
Yep, I have no interest whatsoever in Ben Johnson. Yeah, and that's the thing, because man, because you understand the deficiencies that he has. You understand that Arthur Smith has some deficiencies, and can he fix those? Continuing to be in the offensive coordinator. So if he sticks around, is it with a caveat? Hey, you can come back, but you can't call plays no more. Who's gonna step in? Dave Ragone? You gonna go outside? You know Arthur Smith ain't about to hire nobody outside the building. Now you're gonna be able to focus more on when to call timeout. Like game situations, like a quarterback coach, that might help. You know, you never know. Like, but yeah, man, I feel you. I feel you. But will you feel better if he gets fired or versus if he sticks around? Like, which way, which side would you feel better on?
Well, I mean, firing, like, to me, they fire him cool. All right. So, but it doesn't solve a problem. Like, the problem is the Falcons, as you said, they still need a quarterback, they still need wide receivers, they still need edge rusher, they need to go out and hire a new head coach. Like, so it's just like, okay, like, so like you fire the coach, cool. Like, again, I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm just sitting here going, like,
right.
I'm not one of these people that thinks like, oh, once you fire the coach, like everything just falls into place for the Atlanta Falcons moving forward. Like, you still have to find all these players, upgrade all this roster, hire the right coach, and hope that coach does a better job than. And so it's like, all right, like it doesn't solve a problem. That's my issue. It's like, it's not like, I don't know. It's just like, to me, like, it's not this sort of like, boom, you fire the coach and like, hey, let's celebrate in the streets because Arthur Smith's out. It's like, you're still in the same spot that you would have been if you had kept him. Like, you still got to solve these issues. And it's like, okay, now you got a different person coming into building and wanting him to solve those problems. And again, I can understand why you're sitting here going like, I don't trust Arthur Smith to solve these problems. I'm 100% there with you, but there's no reason for me to think that anybody else, that I should trust anybody else, especially some new person, right? You know, to come in and
with no
also
experience,
be able to solve the problems. There's no reason for me to buy in that anybody can solve the Falcons' problems, because I've been a Falcon fan for 30 years and like no one solves their problems. And it's just, you just go through the cycle. And so it's just like, I don't look forward to the coaching cycle like everybody else does, because they just have these hopes and dreams that like, oh, this person's going to come in with a cape on his back and he's going to just solve all our problems. And it's just like, that's not how it works. But
well, Aaron,
that's just me.
Aaron. So, you know, I'm a problem solver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like to just be a guy. You know, I've been married for 11 years now. So, you know, I like to solve problems. You know what I mean? Sometimes it get me in trouble. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it get me out of trouble. So, a little birdie said that a team or teams in the NFC South, I think you know where I'm going with this, are interested in Bill Belichick. Are you interested in
I'm out on Bill Belichick. I'm sorry. I'm not like, you want to hire Bill Belichick knowing this dude can't draft nobody. This dude can't hire a good offensive coordinator.
I'm so
like,
with you.
Look, Bill Belichick, Hall of Fame head coach, but the dude might be the Ryan Tannehill of coaches. He might be washed. That's all I'm saying.
The greatest coach, probably the greatest football coach we've ever seen in our lives. You know, we've been around 30, 40 years, you know, like whatever. And he can't solve the Falcons issue. He can't. He won't. Because he gonna want full control. Look at the draft record.
Look at his pick of the quarterback, right? Look at his pick of the coaches, right? You know, like I'm just like,
is he bringing Tom Brady at 35 with him? You know,
like that's what I'm just like, you know.
Yes.
Just like,
I'm glad you got that out, man. Like,
I'm just like,
see,
talk to me in March when the Falcons sign a quarterback or draft a quarterback or sign a free, you know, like I don't care. You know, just I don't know. I'm out. Clearly I'm in a dark place. I'm so over it, man.
That's what y'all need to hear. Like, y'all need to hear real thoughts, real feelings, because we're men and we don't talk about our feelings enough. So the more we talk about our feelings, the better we're going to feel personally. And they might not change the situation with the Falcons and how they go and how they move. But this type of stuff right here, I'm telling you, man, it's going to move. It's going to move things in a positive direction. Okay. So my boy Aaron won't be so upset and frustrated.
All right. Well, we'll end it on that note. I don't know.
Yes, let's end it there.
We'll be back for a postcast, guys.
Yes, we'll see y'all on Sunday. Come on. 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Enjoy your weekend, because I'm not going to enjoy mine. So there you guys have it.